Because for me, it doesn't even matter. But I think this topic, we've beaten this topic. I got no interest in continuing down this topic. I think now that Nathan's here, we can. But Nathan, you know Patricia pretty well, right, brother?
Yeah, pretty well.
I think she's fantastic. I love Patricia. I would give, this is just a gentleman's bet, $100 that most of the men in the community probably at some level have a bit of a crush on her. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
I probably agree with you.
Actually, she's desirable looking. So 100% is not, she's 100% female and beautiful inside and out. Now, how's that baby of yours, Nathan? How you doing?
Pretty good. Just woken up by the sounds of things.
Oh, well, if you got my voice on some kind of a speaker system and on, your entire neighborhood's about to get woke up. And I'm not talking about to the truth. They're just going to get woke up to that state of being grumpy. Nobody likes to be woken up by my voice.
I don't think it was you. I can't blame you.
So how's things? What time is it there in the UK?
Just 2:45.
In the AM?
Correct, 2:45 in the morning. I'm a bit of an insomniac.
Yeah, we are. I know Pillbox and I used to hang out till like 2, 3, 4 in the morning some nights. Remember, Pill?
Disappeared. I was on it.
He doesn't always answer me.
Yeah, that's what Nathan came on in one of those hangouts. Yeah.
Yeah, Pillbox and I shot the breeze for a few hours. Good fun.
So, what do you think of this? What are your hopes for its future? What are you hoping to see?
Didn't catch the beginning part of the question. Sorry.
What's for the future?
You went again.
What
broke up just at the wrong moment.
Huh?
You broke up just at the wrong moment. I missed the beginning part.
I don't know why I'm breaking up. Just a sec. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. To see flat Earth go.
Right. Yes. Where do I see flat Earth going? I think it has reached the point where it's becoming exponential. I.e., more and more people are going to find out about it, and I think that's because it's less controlled than people think. So when people talk about how everything is very heavily censored, I think they're right for things that are literally happening now. And I'm not going to mention anything specific because I don't want to get your channel shut down. But there's certain things that are happening in the moment, and I don't even have to mention them. Everybody watching will know exactly what I'm talking about, that if you talk about them, they will censor you. Whereas that's because there's people who are literally conducting that orchestra in that moment, and they can't have people messing with those narratives. Whereas Flat Earth, I think you'll maybe agree with me on this, maybe not, we'll see, has been established for probably 400 years. The systems have been set pretty much in place. And I could expand on that and say that every so often it would seem to me that there's a resurgence of Flat Earth so that they can the systems that are in place will come up with debunkings for anything new that might have come out of the woodwork that would contradict the heliocentric model. So in spite of that, people are still finding out and questioning the mainstream narrative in general. Not necessarily as a direct consequence of Flat Earth, but people are finding out about that pretty major part of life and their existence along those roads. So in the future, I just think it will swell and continue to grow. So more and more people will find out. I can't see far enough into the future to say whether or not that will mean there'll be a mass exodus from the controlling structures. I don't think it's even necessary for the people to rise up and try and make that happen. I think any psychopathic system is doomed to failure anyway because they're based on lies. So I think more and more people will come. That's my short answer. Or maybe it was too short. I'll give you a bit more padding.
Yeah, go take it away for a couple of minutes, Nathan. Run with it. Yeah.
I didn't realise I was. and I needed to give a bit more padding.
I'll wait for Rand to come back. You know what's really funny, Nathan? A few months ago, all these infighting, ridiculous incidents have happened, and so many people are angry at each other that people approached me to go after you. People approached me and said, yeah, Nathan Oakley, this and that. And, there was a bunch. I'm not going to mention any names right now. We've already mentioned enough names tonight. It wasn't the names we've already mentioned, but they approached me, in some of these air hangouts like this on the side chat saying that, yeah, Nathan's doing this and that. And I was like, well, I think we got all kinds of problems around here. But, yeah, they were trying to recruit me to go after you. And that's just one example. That's going on one time with me. That's going on all over the place. Behind our backs, people are trying to attack, probably you more than me, because you are on so much more than me. You are a much more prominent known person. Obviously, Patricia Steer being one of the #1 targets and so on and so forth. But that kind of stuff is just so normal. There's constantly these literal conspiracies of people hating on people constantly around us. And it's just really unfortunate. That is the flat earth currently, as far as a whole.
Yeah, but it doesn't achieve the ends that you desire if, for the sake of argument, let's go along the lines that, you did actually do that. It wouldn't achieve what you wanted, which is to silence me or shut me down. Quite the contrary. So I view, I don't know what the current drama is, to be honest. When there's drama like this, I tend to find out about what's actually happened in drips and drabs. I'll probably get some information about whatever's happened recently from you guys. We'll see. But if I don't like the drama, I won't engage with it at all. In other words, in this scenario with me, and you're like, I need to go after him. Well, no, you don't. You need to remove yourself from that person. There's probably 101 channels on YouTube, probably broadcasting live right now about subjects that you find detestable, like heinous subjects that you couldn't bear to watch, but you're not watching them, and you're therefore unaware of them and therefore pretty much unaffected by them. So if I was to now, here's the key point you in the direction of one of those channels and you went, oh, we must shut this channel down, what you've become is a glorified advertising board for that channel as you stand around and wave your pitchfork and I'm not saying that that's what you do, but what I'm metaphorically speaking, when you're waving banners that say anti anything, ultimately you're bringing attention to that thing. So in your scenario, when the person said to you, you need to go after this person and maybe make an anti video or point people away from them, you have the complete opposite effect. Now, people will see my comments in hater videos about me and I'll thank them. Thanks for the advert. I really appreciate it. And I'm trying to have the same conversation with Patricia, which is to say, when you get these videos made about you in hatred, calling you a tranny or whatever they're calling her, just thank them for the ad. It's ultimately just publicity. It's complete nonsense. I mean, I was on your chat earlier, and of course she's a woman. This is ludicrous. I'll watch Mystery and various other nonsense channels that do stuff on trannies just for the outrage factor because I find it amusing. But they'll put up a picture of a woman, and you go, yeah, it's a woman. I know what a woman looks like. And they go, it's a man, it's a man. You go, no, it isn't. You're an idiot. But that to me is quite amusing. To some people, the idiots, they go, is it? Really? You say it's a man? Well, it must be a man then, because they've said it's a man and put a picture up. It's like, you're an idiot. But for those people, there is no hope. For the people that want to believe that Patricia Steer is a man, you're idiots. Obviously she's not a man.
Well, you know what that's like though, Nathan? That's, how they do that. They tell you, oh, you're going to be fooled. You're going to feel real sorry. They put that fear into somebody's heart. Oh, you're going to feel so stupid because she's a man. That's exactly what those ass clowns said when they did the no forests on flat earth garbage. Oh, if you think flat earth's a big deal, that's not, oh, I don't want to feel stupid again. The no forest thing has to be real. Now, that's the same scare tactic they've always used with anything everything is, oh, you're going to look stupid unless you trust me. And that's what they do. Oh, you're going to be so stupid. But yeah, I had to bring up No Forest because I know that I remember you a few months back saying you didn't agree with it, which I obviously agree with you wholeheartedly, because I think it was a massive deception and something that still boggles my mind as far as how it has influenced so many people in the flat earth especially. But that's what you have to realize, Nathan. The one thing that we have to agree on is that flat earth is the #1 most attacked topic as far as an internet subject is concerned. So as far as things coming on in the last few years, there's nothing like flat earth. It's being ripped apart from inside and out. And it's much like Christianity. Like Patricia said, once she told her brother about flat earth, he of course said, oh, you're not a crazy Christian now, are you? So they kind of tie together. But everybody puts that fear. It's all fear porn to make you think, oh, you're going to be really stupid. That's actually a man, and that's actually a woman, and the earth is actually a cell, and there's no forest on it.
I see what you're going. Yes, I completely agree. If you can tie complete nonsense, convince people what is down is actually up, and what is black is actually white, and what is a man is actually a woman. When you've got people that stupid to believe you, then if you can tie them to something that's actually true, i.e. the earth is obviously and observably flat, then you're going to tar them with the brush of nonsensical idiocracy, and people will just look at flat earthers and go, oh, these idiots that think that men are women and women are men. And I'm not denying that there's transgender people, but I think I can't remember who of the two of you made this point earlier, but in fact it was Uber, said, it should be the most terrible advert ever. And if you know Brenda, who's a flat earth detractor, she's constantly talking about it. And every transsexual I've ever known constantly talks about it. They can't get enough of talking about it. So, that she doesn't really fit that pattern for a start. She's never mentioned it if she was, because she isn't. Ludicrous. But again, it's to me, it's laughable. To the people who buy into it, you think, well, you're an idiot. I've got no other words for you if you actually believe that nonsense. And the same was true for Flat Earth. Martin Liedtke and myself were outraged. We were so fuming about it. And I got invited onto the round table. So David Weiss had a round table, No Forest on Flat Earth round table. And
oh boy,
I've got the highest viewed copy of that now, because David Weiss's channel was subsequently shut down, losing that video, and he's since uploaded it again, I think. But I'd mirrored it. I was refreshing like mad when it was rendering, so I could be the first to mirror it, because I wanted it known. I was a detractor on that show. I was like, this is nonsense. What evidence have you got for any of this crap? And basically none. That's the reality of it. It's a pie in the sky fantasy story. Great. It's not a new story either. It's certainly not new. It's been rehashed. But we hear that about Flat Earth, them saying it's rehashed, and you're like, well, yeah, but doesn't change the obvious and observable nature of our reality, which we can actually go out and test. No trees. It's pure speculation. So, fun to have a bit of speculation. When it first came out, I watched it and thought, that's interesting. When you see everyone actually buying into it, you go, holy crap, what's going on? And then suddenly that got a load of momentum. And occasionally I see it rear its ugly head. And Martin will normally be on a panel, because Martin and I are good friends, same as Patricia, hit her at the potatoes, as we get dubbed. Yeah, we do talk all the time. And it's normally the case that Martin will phone me up and go, I was on this panel and they bought the no trees. I had to bite my tongue. I really wanted to. And it's like, yeah, you've got to you have some diplomacy about it, rather than getting all outraged about it. Just accept it, roll your eyes, bite your tongue, whatever. You've said your piece. If people don't know that you're averse to it, which obviously they don't, if they're talking to him about it on a panel, just nod away or whatever. But it is nonsense. Most people, I think, will eventually realise that. If they don't, then they're fantasists. That's fine. It's different when we get called fantasists as flat earthers. Normally they get the sharp end of a flat earth tongue when we hear comments like that, because we'll point them in the direction of reality. No trees believer, same as your Mandela effect believer. What's he going to point you towards? What's he going to back it up with? Not a lot. That's the reality.
Yeah,
I
the
think the
no
best.
trees, just the way it hit. Anyway, you want to talk, Rand? Go ahead. I was going to say a little bit more
No,
about that, but go
I
ahead.
just wanted to say quickly that I think the best truth we have right now, as far as new and increased knowledge and new information, the basic flat Earth knowledge. I don't think that you need to sprinkle it with any kind of special sauce to make it more truthful than it already is. I mean, water doesn't bend. There is no curve, and not a single human being in the history of history has ever documented rocketing or flying through outer space. The fact actually rendering a video right now called Flat, featuring Eric Dubay. And I know that the title is a little bit suspect. Flat Earth Kiss and Eric Dubay. It's going to be but basically what it talks about is just taking back your senses. It requires nothing more than stepping outside the system and taking a breath and going, okay, let me be honest with myself. What do I feel and what do I see? I don't want science answers. I don't want NASA to tell me what I'm seeing or what I'm feeling. I want to trust in the senses that I have that were written into my creation. What do I feel? What do I see? And at the end of those two questions, if you can't say this, well, I'm not moving, and I certainly don't, or a curve, and then you take that and you go into flat Earth research, that's all you need. You don't need to sprinkle or spices on it. It's really basic information. We're not spinning. We're not rocketing. You're not getting a check from NASA for being an astronaut on a spinning wet ball rocket. The Earth is 71% water. That would mean that there's no way in the world we're on a ball. Water most certainly doesn't stick to spinning balls. Every man has had a moment coming out of the shower where they had to shake themselves dry. I assure you of that statement. The truth of the matter is that all you really need is to just take back what they somehow stole from you. They took our common sense. I don't know when I allowed them to have my common sense, because I really got in this world is my common sense. So the minute I took back my common sense and went, no, wait a second, then I'm taking that back. And I started to think for myself, actually allows you to do that. You're allowed to step outside of the system. That's the thing about Satan. He never plays. All souls come to this environment, come to this life with free will. He's never played with your free will. You're never going to stand before God and go, yeah, but Satan took my free will. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. You have made every single choice that you've made to get to right where you are in your belief system. Has he manipulated it? Has he deceived you? Has he lied to you? Absolutely. But you chose to believe it. You come to a flat earth video and you refuse to take your set and do the research. That's a choice. You have chosen to be deceived. And so the truth of the matter is that you got free will. At the end of this, you're not going to be able to blame anybody at all. It's going to be this same excuse. He told you the earth was flat. Rand Campbell told you the earth was flat. On this date, at this time, during this period of your life, you were mocking and insulting flat earthers and were going to their channels and insulting and mocking them. You're without excuse. You saw the information, but you refused to do your own research. Therefore, Satan didn't steal your free will. And the minute you take back your common sense, you're going to find out there's no argument at all. And that's all, folks. We'll be back tomorrow night
Yep, the flat Earth is certainly where it's at, Rand. Yeah. Let me just talk about one of our problems, Nathan. Just because obviously, we are very biased, fundamentally insane, psychopathic Christians. But my problem is that people have to constantly lie about the Bible. If it's one thing if you're not a Christian, that's fine, Nathan. But when these people get on these panels, like yesterday, I heard Brother Sanchez say that the Bible was used to teach heliocentrism. Like 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, that right there seems to be like a psychotic statement, because most people know that people were hiding from the words of the Bible to ignore it was a flat earth book for 500 years. Now we're being told that it was used to control people to this heliocentric society. Why is it that we always hear these people lying about the Bible? They're just bringing up parts of the Bible that maybe they're misunderstanding, or saying it says it doesn't rain. It's just a constant thing. Once a week, twice a month, I'm just constantly hearing big channels with a lot of people watching them. They're constantly saying these things that are basically lies. It's not that you don't believe in the Bible. That's not the point. The point is that they're lying about the Bible. Of course, nobody brings up the Quran and talks about that you're going to have 72 children to have sex with. I guess that's a great reason to be a Muslim. And the fact that your actual wife is actually an animal and below you, and if nobody agrees with you, we can kill you. Nobody bashes the Muslims about those things that are written down. But we have people lying to us about the Bible, about as Christians and how we feel about things, and it's not written down, and it's actually written as a flat earth book. Do you see any of this, or am I crazy, Nathan?
No, you're not crazy at all. I see exactly the same opinion from Paula, formerly Knowledge Scavenger. Now is it Free Truth? But she was saying exactly the same thing when you get people that say that Jesus didn't exist. And, we're talking about things that are documented in history. And to deny them is, as you phrase it, a lie. And I don't know, I can't speak for Bro Sanchez and his intent, but that's always what it comes down to. What's their intent? What's the purpose behind them doing it? Is it malicious? Because, like you say, I doubt it's just denial. But I don't know. My feelings on it are, I like to pick good quality sources. Paul is a top quality biblical source. She's extremely well versed. It gives me goosebumps to think about her information, because it's presented in a very, I don't want to say neutral way. Maybe neutral is the right way. A very just a matter of fact way, and I like that. Well researched,
authentic, right? Really authentic.
Yeah. I like that. People who aren't as well researched and are presenting their opinions and, as you call it, lying. Yeah, I'm not so much of a fan, but that tends to shine through. Would you not agree? Would you not say that there's a big distinction between the two different people in terms of their presentation, and with a bit of discernment, you can tell who's got the better information? Would you not say?
Right, but even non-Christians such as yourself, such as Eric Dubay, such as Darrenism, such as Bob Xanadu, even Patricia Steer, a lot of people doing a lot of good work that are not Christians will admit the Bible is clearly a flat earth book. Even Darrenism went up against Ken Hovind and wrote, and trust me, I used to be a big fan of Ken Hovind until he got out of prison, because that's when, of course, he was too proud to accept the flat earth revolution hit him like a train, Nathan, and Ken Hovind folded like a stack of cards. He turned into a coward and hid from the truth. But all of these other people that are non-Christians clearly do not need hooked on phonics. They can read words. They can put letters together. And when it says God stretched the line over the earth is fixed. It's on foundations. It's immovable. All these things. And so these are not Christians saying this. These are non-Christians admitting this is clearly a flat earth book. There's no way around it. So when I hear somebody that's calling themselves a flat earther that is all of a sudden saying, oh, no, the Bible's, that's how they taught, that's how they enslaved us into heliocentrism. Wait a minute. I got to throw up a red flag and say there is a serious problem with this person. And I'm not saying that they need to be stopped or shut down. I'm just trying to say this is common sense. The common sense is there's something wrong here. That's my point.
Yeah, but like with most of these things, I mean, it's obviously not my passion in the way it is for you, but if it was, I'd be like, well, the same one word would come out of my mouth, which is evidence. Let's see you back that up. Back to Paula again, when she's presenting, sometimes she will present her opinion, but she will back it up with evidence. And therefore, I'm more inclined to believe her opinion. And that's the same with anything. It doesn't matter if it's trans investigations or the Bible. The same is always going to apply. You've got to back your facts up. You've got to back your statements up with facts and evidence. And with the Bible, it's nice and simple. You just go and find the verse that backs up what you say. It's really easy. Now, that's not to say that I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit here and say that, with time and effort and research, maybe he could back up that argument. Maybe he could back up that the Bible has been used by a certain preacher at some way, and then demonstrate how that preacher spun certain verses into heliocentric belief. I can say this because I've watched my own uncle do it. He's a pastor. I had the flat earth conversation with him, and he spun heliocentricity into biblical verse. So I can absolutely believe that may have been the case at multiple stages. But if you're going to say that it happened several hundred years ago, well, let's see your evidence for that. I doubt there is any. I've got to be honest.
Right, you're going to tell me this happened before Copernicus, before all these Satanists getting on board with this heliocentric, before there was the word heliocentrism. You're telling me that the Bible was doing this? I mean, that's just a flagrant foul there. There's just no way that I absolutely agree with you now that people, I remember 2 months ago, somebody brought up the part in Isaiah about the circle of the earth, trying to tell me that a circle is a ball. Absolutely true is that people misread that. But as a whole, we obviously we have hindsight now. There's no hidden mystery purple dragon fighting a pink elephant anymore. That's over with. It's been let out of the bag. Anybody who has 2 cents to rub between their beady little eyes and their ears knows that the Bible's a flat earth book. So I'm saying as of now, with hindsight, there's no way that you can pull off any sort of theoretical past garb like that as if that's credible at all, because we've been told our entire lives how stupid the Bible is because it's a flat earth book by many sources, and now we're going to say the opposite? No, come on, let's not play Mandela effect now. I heard my entire life how stupid Christians were and how stupid the Bible was because of all sorts of things, the 6-day creation, you name it. And so now we're coming to the realization that actually it's probably all true. Whether people want to believe it or not, I've come to that conclusion that it's all true. So it's very important to us. And again, yeah, Paula, she hits the nail on the head when it comes to a lot of these things. My question is, why aren't any other belief systems being talked about this way? It's only Christianity. And that's probably my biggest hint to people. Like, why is it that Christianity gets attacked like this? Not just by non-believers, but by the leadership, our slave masters, corporate America, our government. Every single thing in this world is anti-Christian, is anti-Bible. They've always hated the Bible. That was never a mystery. That's why growing up I had such a hard time with it, because I thought I came from a monkey, Nathan. I thought over millions of years, I turned into a white, pale monkey with very little hair. So it was hard for me to believe. Well, it turns out that's all complete BS. We know now with genetics that gene pools only bring forth after their kind, and it even says that in the Bible. So, I'm just saying, you put the pieces together here, and I think that's why it's called the Great Deception. I think that proves the Bible correct. But of course, that's my 100% biased opinion.
But I've got to correct you on one thing, which is that you're absolutely incorrect about whether or not Muslims or any other creed are having the same things happen. So what you're seeing is more often than not, an internal Christian on Christian battle, if you want to look at it in those terms. And no, you're right. In one respect, you're not seeing a Christian on Muslim battle over the subject of flat earth. But if you were to go to any of the Muslim channels on YouTube, and they are absolutely there, you would see the exact same infighting about Muslim issues and interpretations, and it's exactly the same. There is no difference. I could transpose it from religion to cookery or anything else, cars, and say that the exact same thing happens. I boil it down to it being kind of a YouTube thing, but that's unfair when it comes to something like religion, because it's far more all-encompassing and widespread beyond the internet even. So it's unfair to say it's a YouTube thing. But in terms of the kind of the hatred that you're describing, or the disagreements that you're describing, they would have there'd be no difference. If you became a Muslim today and went into that community, you would see exactly the same thing. I guarantee it.
Yeah, 100%. I can't stand that's my biggest problem is these Christians that are attacking this. Trust me, my biggest problem are the so-called Christians, Nathan. They are absolutely the thorn in my side. It's the most annoying thing I've ever heard when I hear a so-called Christian, supposedly a Christian, say, "Well, what difference does it make?" I mean, talk about a fake. I mean, it's the most frustrating thing ever. But on top of that, I'm not just talking about the fact that they're attacking Christianity. Then they'll go on to say, and these elites really aren't worshiping Satan. They're just pretending to. Like, wow. I mean, these experts are so smart about all of this. They even know what the entire elite system is doing and how they're just pretending to be Satanists. So it's very odd that it's the same people talking down to Christianity, saying the Bible's a lie, and then saying the elites are just pretending to be Satanists. And I just think it's very obvious what that means. I think it's all tied together.
Arcane introduced into the conversation. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, my brothers? What's happening?
What is going on? Are you feeling the hate these days?
Well, I don't think I would be a follower of Christ if I wasn't.
Amen to that.
Being as outspoken as I am.
Yeah, I got a lot going on in my life right now, and going into detail, but I deal with different types of people, different aspects, and different. I'll put my camera on here. Different types of hate, types of angles, and the truth of the matter is that anytime you step outside of the matrix or you step out of the world belief system, you're gonna feel some. I don't even know if it's a misguided jealousy. You know what I mean? It's like I remember when I was in a penitentiary. We had to where if you were getting out, let's say you were getting out in a couple of months, you were getting out into it was February, March. You don't tell nobody your release date. Because there's guys in there that don't have a release date, and get that little envy or that jealousy and heart. So they'll plant drugs in your cell or do something to get you street charged so that you don't get your release date. And that happens all the time in the penitentiary. So, you don't give up your release date. You don't tell people your truth. And I feel this community in on the internet is like the minute you let out your truth, you let out your belief, you give them a piece of you that, put you on that pedestal of vulnerability. There's gonna be people that are gonna try to kick the legs out from under you, try to mess with you. Matter is that I think it's misguided jealousy, misguided envy, wrapped up in a wicked heart. And so even on this flat, I get all the time. I lost a 30-year friendship. Now make no mistake about it. Day of my life, this guy would have never stupid with me the way he did that I had to. But 30 years ago, I'd have punched him in his mouth. But today, I'm a Christian. I got more respect than that, and I certainly got more, love in my heart than that. So, but we had a flat earth argument. He said, anybody, we were at his house at a barbecue, and he said, anybody about flat earth can leave my house. I got up and got. I didn't even hesitate. I was like, oh, you must be talking about me, because I love to. There's nothing else here. Why? What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about the Blue Jays? You want to talk about the new lawnmower that you bought? What do you want to talk about? Your ex-wife? You want to talk about some reality show that you watched yesterday? Some new movie that's coming out in a month? What do you want to talk about? Because all that stuff to me is dead conversation. I got no interest in that at all. Now, if you want to talk about the Lord, I'll talk about the Lord. But right now, there's no stuff about flat earth. So I'm kind of in the mood to talk about flat earth. So I guess you must be. And that friendship ended right then and there. I'm talking a 30-year friendship gone. I mean, I came from Canada or from the Dominican to go off here in Canada. I flew there. He picked me up at the airport, his house, for a few days, and then I went to stay with some other friends that wanted me to hang out with them. And back to his house for the barbecue. So I'm not talking about a guy that he's my good. But it's like that, this hate feel about these subject matters, whether it's Christianity or flat, to bring the worst out of people. And your best thing to do, I kind of like Nathan's concept, walk away. The internet we don't look at because we're not interested in them. Well, if people are coming up on your channel or walking on your belief system, mocking and insulting you, you're probably better off just to remove them from your life because they're not being that important in the end, anyways.
That's kind of not really what I meant, actually. Sorry. What I meant by that was you're saying if somebody comes to your channel and puts hate on you, well, I wouldn't actually say that person, you need to remove yourself from them. What I mean by that is if you've got a channel, so the same person that's commented also has a channel. So you click on their icon and you see that they're spewing hate all over their channel. Well, you wouldn't go and engage with that channel and comment on the channel that nobody should be watching this, because that's what the guy who's come to your channel has done. But what he's actually doing is watching your material. Yeah, he doesn't agree, but he's still there engaging with you. Now, yeah, he's a hateful, insulting, nasty piece of work, or she, for that matter, right now, but that's people. Christians included, you've said it yourselves. People can be vile and horrible and spiteful, but you should embrace that viewer. They've come to your message. No, they don't agree with it. They may never agree with it, but they may also see what you're presenting. They've come in the first place. There's something about you and what you're saying that has attracted you there. Even if it's outrage. But what I'm trying to say is, if you have outrage for that other channel, the worst thing that you can do is go and visit that channel and listen to their views. Ignore them. And be grateful when they come and listen to yours.
Right, I get it. Okay, so yeah, I'll stick with my point, though, in that in the Christian belief system, Nathan, you plant your seeds and you're careful not to trample on them. And the trampling on those seeds, it can be identified as simply as getting into stupid arguments and forth that don't edify or encourage. And so for me anyways, I'm just at a, you know what, if you don't want to do the right, but you have it in your heart to mock, I ain't doing it. I got enough people in the world that need to hear this message that are willing to hear. I'm not going to waste time on people that are only in the game. It's like in baseball. I don't know if you guys do baseball over the UK, but in a big, and when a guy goes up to bat, there's always somebody in the crowd, batter, making fun of the batter, calling them names and insulting them. And even the bat catcher a lot of times will say things to the batter, trying to get him off his game and to get him off his focus. That the batter allows that to happen, you can rest assured he's striking out. So I think in this thing we do, I wise to not give a whole lot of attention to the people that are only here to insult and mock. And to, Patricia's situation. That's why I give Patricia respect, because of insult. She does take a lot of ridicule. She does take a lot of insult. And you know what? For a pretty petite, classy woman, she's pretty good. She's standing her ground pretty good.
She turns the other cheek. She never addresses it.
Yeah, she's good.
No, that's all. Essentially, what she's doing is ignoring it and going, "I don't want to get involved in that." And that's the correct attitude to take. Just don't engage with them. Where I disagree with her is she would say, "Well, they're not going to come to my channel," which is kind of what you're saying. In other words, she would say, "Well, if someone leaves a nasty comment, I would remove it." Me, I would thank them, and I do. So somebody will come and spew a load of hatred, call me a load of nasty names, tell me that I'm a Freemason, CIA shill, and it's like, well, I'm English. But that aside, what my response will be is, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. You know, that's my response. Because what they are doing, they are the equivalent of the guy who's behind the batter going, "You're going to fail, you rubbish." But he's bought a ticket. He is what I define as, Dina Walker gave me this, around the flat earth campfire, that detractor. They're not off watching videos about cars. And isn't the whole point of us trying to get our message across to say you shouldn't be watching TV? It's poison. The news is full of garbage. It's all fake. It's all lies, including your world. Well, when you finally attract somebody into the stadium, in your example, do you want to say, sod off, go away, because you disagree? Because I would say, hold on, you've just got them into your stadium. They've bought a ticket now. Yeah, they don't agree with you. They think you're on the wrong team, but they're around the campfire and you've got them there. You've achieved that. So by saying go away because you think, you know, but if somebody comes into your comments and says, clearly Rand was a woman, isn't that clear? My response would be, if I was you, thanks very much for watching, you know, because it's not going to affect me in the slightest. So like somebody comes into my chat and says that was formerly a woman. Thanks for watching, you idiot. But I wouldn't say you idiot. That would be in my heart while I have a chuckle.
Yeah, it's for me. Yeah, I agree, but I'm also always, you know, we have a Christian audience for the most part, and so I'm also always, you know, them and what have to tolerate, and what I'm willing to let them have to tolerate. So if it gets too disgraceful or too much insult, mocking, and it becomes belligerent and unacceptable, no, they get removed, bro. They're I don't keep them in the chat room just because they have a stereo.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. I mean, my view is extreme, but I hope that as an example, people can take instances from it and go, yeah, I can see how, you know, because the other extreme is to ban everybody that doesn't agree, and then you end up in a situation where you're just patting each other on the back and agreeing with everything that everyone says, and that doesn't move anything forward. So it's a fine balance, and most people disagree with my approach to it, but I've never denied my purpose in being here. You know, my purpose is to be a videographer, to make videos about subjects that interest me. And as it stands, flat earth, I completely agree with you, is the most fascinating subject there is, because we've been deceived on a massive scale. You know, we have been subject to possibly I'm going to say it, the biggest deception in mankind's history. And that's a big deal and worthy of lots of videos being made about it. And that's what I enjoy doing.
Well, what's hilarious is we've been standing on that's what gets me is Earth has been hidden from us, but we've been standing on it. It's not like they took it away and hid it in a closet, or they rewrote history and that was just and it was automatically gone forever. No. They couldn't change it. They could only hide it. And where did they hide it? They hid it right under our feet.
No, they didn't. They hid it out there. They made us. That's the trick. Like any good magic trick.
Yeah, they made us look out there for it, but it was still under our feet.
You've got the thing you want to distract from in one hand, and that's, in this case, the ground beneath your feet. But the other hand is pointing upwards in this magic trick. So the way they've managed to convince us that we're living on a sphere isn't by using the ground beneath our feet. It's by using this space above our head.
No, I agree. They use the spaces. It's like, you know, using the pretty girl bending over on the street corner to pick the guy's pocket. He's looking at the girl. He doesn't even realize you're picking his pocket. And I agree, the entire time when I realized I've been standing on the truth my whole life, I'm like, and to me, it's just amazing, because the truth of the matter is that we all know. For me, it isn't even really an honest, it's a deflection, because the truth of the matter is it was always flat,
Yeah.
right there under our feet. And the minute you start to research it, I can't understand anybody that'd do the research and come out the other end arguing against flat Earth. I can't understand it. There. He might have left. What about you, P.O. Box? Are you still there?
You
Yeah,
breaking
what's
up a
going on
lot,
with you,
bro.
Rand? Yeah, that Dominican
both came back at the
Republican,
same time.
Dominican Republic connection sucks tonight, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm plugged. I'm hardwired in. Oh,
Might be
but what do you?
might be the live cam feed.
Oh yeah, let me take the cam. Have I got my cam? No. But mind you, I'm hardwired into a Wi-Fi router. Does that make sense to you guys?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a
So what were y'all talking about?
Well, we were talking earlier about this Antonio guy calling Patricia Steer out as a man. I just find absolutely stupid. It's so ridiculous. I think they're going to be saying I'm a transvestite. Well, I'll be about the ugliest transvestite you ever saw. And just how stupid. Even having, I guess he did a 3-hour video talking about how and how upset he was when they broke up, which means that you would. And so why were you all upset and heartbroken? It's just so stupid, bro.
So
And then that went to
I got. No, I got like maybe 50% of what you said, but someone called Patricia Steer transsexual.
Yeah, transvestite.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how true that is. I'm pretty sure she isn't. I bet my own sex. It was just stupid. Don't you think it's getting ridiculous though?
You say you put the house on it?
Well, on that.
I don't know, bro. I mean, I don't know. I haven't really looked at her like that, but I mean, there's a lot of conspiracies going on. People jump at any opportunity to make something out of nothing, or stretch something that's there into something way beyond what's there. So, I don't know, man. I haven't, I haven't looked into that one, but I hope not.
I'm pretty certain you can take my. I'm coming back 100%. Absolutely not. And then we get on to another discussion because that to me is just ridiculous. But how's things with you and the family? How are things down your way? How's Chicago? You know what I've been looking at lately? What's that girl that was killed and found in the freezer at the hotel in Chicago?
Yeah, we were just talking about that. Yeah,
well,
we were just talking about that.
There's a channel out there.
Crazy.
Oh, were you? There's a channel out there. He calls himself the Chosen King, and he's got a channel. This is an interesting channel name.
Oh.
And I got hooked up through a friend of mine to start watching his channel, doing an online investigation into that case with a magnifying glass, and they're actually the case on a day-to-day hangout. They've been doing this case out of Chicago. They got the footage. They got the websites of all the participants at the party. They got the websites of the family members, and they're doing their own online investigation. Very interesting, Arcane. Very, very interesting.
Yeah,
so I've been watching that lately.
Yeah, a girl at work was talking about it today. She was saying how the girl that was photographed in the freezer didn't have the same tattoos as the girl photographed on like her like the picture she has on Facebook and online and stuff like that. That right there. And then you
You
look
should
at the
check
girl in
out.
the freezer. She ain't got no shoes on. I mean, she got one shoe on and one shoe off. Like, if
Yeah.
you freezer, why would you go in and take one of your shoes off? Like, that would be probably the last thing someone would do. Like, it's just so many things that she was bringing up that just make it so fishy, bro. Like,
Well,
but
and everything
to
in the
think that,
kitchen, everything in the kitchen. When you look at the video of the case, all of the equipment in the so it's like a makeshift kitchen on the 6th floor of the hotel are all on wheels. The thing in the kitchen is on wheels. There's no side. The father is a Freemason. Stepfather, he got let off of another murder. There was another guy involved that takes the body parts, like an organ guy there. I mean, the case is messed up, bro. When you listen to these YouTubers that are investigating this case live, it's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy to listen to how articulately they're going through this case. And they're going to solve this case on Google Hangouts is where this case is going to be solved. It's not going to be solved in the police department. These people are solving this case on the internet, bro. It's crazy.
yeah, you know, people gonna pick it apart, man. Just like we did Sandy Hook, just like we did 9/11, just like we're gonna do every other false flag, fake, fabricated distraction that they put in front of us. Based on what the girl today was showing me, they probably faked this girl's death for some reason, just to keep our attention on it and to, you know, stir up those outrageous emotions that people get when there's injustice. So as long as they can keep us distracted, we're going to see a lot more of, you know, stupid cases like this that just don't make sense, and why people are spending months and months, you know, doing an investigation on clearly a false flag.
Yeah,
For money
I would
bags,
encourage
you know?
you guys to go look at, I think his name is Chosen King. Go look at his channel. He's got the entire case on his channel. They got the Facebooks of everybody involved. It's crazy, man. I mean, they've got so much evidence in this case, and some of them think it
Why
was
ain't they
his
going to,
stepdad. Huh?
I mean, what they going to do?
I don't know.
What they going to do? Sue him? They going to go to court?
No. I guess it's something to do. It's like playing video games, like, you know, playing a game of Clue at the board table with your family. It's this whole new thing that's happening now on the internet where people are doing hangouts, looking at cases and trying to figure them out. And there's a whole bunch of them. This guy got like 4,000 or 5,000 subscribers, thousands of people that are going in on this hangout to figure out this case. I don't know why, but if you watch it, it's pretty interesting, man.
The thing that pricks my ears up is when you said about one shoe. I know nothing about any of this case, but immediately, as soon as you said that the person had one shoe on, you think flashback to almost every false flag you've ever seen, and there's victims that are missing one shoe.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And why would you walk into a freezer and take your shoe off? Why would you do that? And it looked like her pants was partially pulled down too. So the last thing anybody who's in a freezer, drunk or not, is going to try to disrobe themselves and become colder. It just doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense to suggest, if that is even the girl, because on the Facebook page who has like a butterfly tattoo on her stomach, and then there's a girl photographed by the coroner in forensics too. So people are questioning that. It's just so many questions. To me, it's obvious it was a setup. There had to be too many people involved, from removing the cameras to manipulating the cameras. I guess here in Chicago, on WGN News, they showed footage of two guys that were like trailing behind her as she's like drunk and stumbling down the hallway. And then like 4 hours later, they removed that footage and replaced it with footage that didn't show those guys there. So there was clear manipulation going on at the highest level of, you know, the system.
Just one thing though.
So the question is, for what though? Why would they even do this false flag? Why would they? I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
Keep people scared. Normally, the answer.
The girl that got me in on this is in the chat right now. She was the one that started me looking at this. I mean, it's interesting. And Arcane, it's probably fake, and that was a good pickup by. That was a good pickup by Nathan. The one shoe. I mean, think about Boswell had one shoe in that.
Which is if you're in a freezer, if you suffer hypothermia, one of the last things you do prior to death is strip off all your clothing, but strip off all of your clothing, not just pull your pants down and remove one shoe.
Right.
But that's assuming she knew to do that. And with me, I don't know too many black people that like the cold. So I don't know a whole lot of black people that are going to be getting inside a freezer.
If she's in a freezer, she may have drunk or otherwise just succumbed to hypothermia. And if she was conscious, she may have started to strip off her clothes. But, you know.
Maybe. It's possible. But there was also a way she could have got out of there. All she had to do was press a button and walk out. So, you know, if she's that conscious to herself for hypothermia, she's definitely conscious and aware enough to remove herself from that freezer.
Yeah, you're going to try and escape
all the way around.
Yeah, I totally agree. You're going to try and escape first and foremost.
Right. And, you know, people, I guess they showed the footage of the same freezer and she could have easily got out. So I guess it's just one mystery after another. And I think it's going to lead people down an endless rabbit trail where no justice is going to be served. I mean, come on. Look at Trayvon Martin, for crying out loud.
Is Uber another Ethan?
Ain't no justice going to be served.
Should I exit sharply?
Well, I think they're strategically stirring up the melting pot. And I think they're trying to force a certain collective conscience among people. Of course, the divide and conquer ain't going nowhere. So the more they can keep fueling this flame, the bigger their fire will grow, and eventually, you know, it's going to burn up in here, and they're going to have to come and issue martial law at some point. They're going to have to force something. So it's coming, I think, pretty soon.
I'm going to leave you guys to it. Thank you very much for having me.
For sure, my bro.
Rand's obviously gone. Pillbox is gone. I'll say a quick hi to Uber. Hello, Uber.
No, I'm here. I'm doing 30 things at once, as always. About this time of night, I start to give the channel over to whoever's on it. Uber, what's going on? You there?
Yeah. Hey, what's up, guys?
Do you know anything about that?
Nothing much.
Kanika Jenkins case out of Chicago? That's an interesting study, man. That black girl that was found in the freezer in a hotel in Toronto, Chicago. There's a big investigation on the internet happening. It's just very interesting. Have you heard anything about that?
No, I haven't heard anything about Chicago.
Well, the guy's channel, I would encourage people to go. It's at the very least extremely interesting. His channel is King, and they're doing an online investigation into the truth of what happened. Very, very interesting.
What was the name of the channel again? Yeah, it cut out for just a second.
Something King.
I don't know why I'm having such an issue tonight. Chosen Chosen King. Chosen King. You get
Okay, gotcha.
that?
Chosen King.
Yeah, it's a good channel. I went on his hangout last week and talked briefly. I mean, these are people that have investigated, the Boston bombings, Sandy Hook. They're not new to the hoax game, so it's just very interesting the way getting this case online.
Right,
Yeah,
I'll leave.
no, I'm gonna have to check that out then.
Cool. I'm going to say a thank you for having me. So also, Arcane, good to chat to you. Uber, nice to meet you. Pillbox, thanks as ever. See you guys later.
Are you
Alrighty,
gone?
Nathan.
Later,
Yeah,
bro.
thanks for having me,
Have a
though.
good night's sleep, Nate.
I will.
Hold the
Bye.
flat Earth down in the United Kingdom. Hold it down, brother.
Will do. Thanks again.